What's up, y'all? It's Will here at Schedule Fly. Thrilled to finally have an opportunity to do another episode. As I've mentioned in another one here recently, we've really been trying to kind of lay low lately. Everything's opening back up. People are super busy. People are having a very hard time finding people to work. Lots going on in this awesome industry that we serve, and we respect that. So we've been kind of laying low, but Josh Dinar has become a good friend, and he's been a long-time customer. Incredible guy, has just a lot of insight on the industry. He is out in Colorado. He runs several successful restaurants out there. He's been at this game for a while. He also is a publisher of a really cool publication called DiningOut, and it's about independent restaurants in Colorado, but I think more to come. I mean, this publication should be, in every state. They're fantastic. So, but nevertheless, check it out because the issues they talk about are not Colorado specific. There may be some, but by and large, they're issues that independent restaurateurs all around the country are facing. So we talk a little bit about the magazine here. And anyway, I just wanted to thank y'all for listening. We will expect the volume of these podcasts to slowly start picking back up. I'm still not going to be very aggressive with checking in with folks to find time to do this because after a year of just so much going on, we want to make sure that, our role at Schedule Flies, hopefully that our software does its thing and doesn't take a lot of their time. And we don't want to take a lot of their time making requests either. Having said that, a lot of these folks really do enjoy talking and sharing and learning and listening, and we enjoy the opportunity when we can. So we're just trying to find a good balance. Ironically, balance is one of the things we talk about in this episode. So thank you all for listening very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of you. Enjoy this conversation with Josh. More coming soon. See you.
How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Oh, hanging in.
Where are you right now?
I'm at Ashkara.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you, man. I'm glad we're able to catch up.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, it's got to be quick, and sorry for all the trouble. It's been a ride of late.
No, I get it, man. Honestly, this is the first episode I've done in like 6 weeks because, everybody's just super busy. Things are opening up. People are having a hard time finding people to work, it seems like, everywhere. So, in fact, you have an interesting article in Dining Out this month, I guess, about that, about people. It was not the unemployment necessarily that's keeping people at home. It's a lot of other things. Is that right?
There's a conversation going on for sure about like why people, and it goes to like why people are leaving the industry and, or are people leaving the industry and, how people are, the perception of how people are being treated. I don't know. It's a lot of, I think there's a lot of conjecture. And it's just, it's a weird transitory time with like a lot of things happening all at once. And like anything, when there's a glut of demand, there's never enough supply.
Yeah. Are y'all having a hard time finding people?
Yeah, it's brutal. We're having the same hard time everyone is.
Man.
We might have it a little bit better. What we're seeing is like the places that are so like River and Woods, which is established and we can, know, and it's like, we're not trying to hire a whole staff. That's less of an issue than opening a new place, where it's like, it's like an unknown. It doesn't have a name for itself. It doesn't have like that cachet yet. So, all those things, play into what people are looking for.
I look to you for a lot of just knowledge about what's happening because you've got this unique dynamic, Josh, where you own all these restaurants. You've been at it a long time, and very successful restaurants. And then you got this thing, which I love, man. I love your magazine. Like,
Awesome.
I love getting it. I really enjoy all this stuff, and you talk to all these people and you put it together so well. I really, this one about Jimmy Yeager out in Aspen, talking about less is more.
I love that.
Oh my God, y'all! If you're watching this or listening to this, go to it's DiningOut.com is your website, right?
Yeah.
Go to DiningOut.com and get this magazine. Check out they've got great content on there. But Jimmy really nailed something that I wanted to ask you about, which is, he talked about how COVID really forced them to make decisions that would have been really hard to make in a normal time. And one of those things, it sounds like from that they're open 5 days a week now instead of 7. But he talks about, FOMO being fear of missing out. He talks about JOMO, joy of missing out, which I love. I share a lot of his philosophy on that stuff. And but he talked about how I think that what he was saying is that even though they're open fewer days now and they're doing a lot less, they're running a better business because of that, because they're getting balance, which is so hard to get in this industry. So I'm just curious if that's a conversation you are having a lot as well.
We're having the conversation. We're not living we're not living it right now ourselves right now, because we're in the midst of a brand new opening that was a year delayed, and then another, right on the heels of that, another opening that's got all kinds of moving parts to it. So it doesn't seem like we're doing that right now, but there's definitely that particular piece, like, definitely spoke. And I think a lot of people saw it, which was like, oh, like, everyone's chasing this top line number, as if that's what matters, when that's not what matters. Like, if you can do the same, forget percentage, like, if you can do the same bottom line number with half of the top line number, then you're doing a whole lot of work for a whole lot of nothing. So unless there's so really thinking about why you're doing what you're doing, and for what reason, and how does that all play into the strategy, and yeah, saying no to stuff. There's a lesson to be taken from that. That story kind of rings in the back of my head all the time too, because we saw it. We at River and Woods, we were doing lunch before, and we stopped doing lunch, stopped worrying about lunch, because it was covering its cost, but it was covering its cost, and it was something else to worry about, and someone else to to staff, and more hours for managers to think about, et cetera, et cetera. And so, yeah, it added up to more revenue, but it didn't equal, to the point where, when we were shut down and doing $1,000 nights, and just straight takeout, like, we were still seeing, like, okay, well, we're actually, like, granted, there's a whole bunch of people just kind of like, there was 4 of us working the whole restaurant, but there was 4 of us working the whole restaurant, and we were home, we were done, like, lights off by 8 p.m. and we were done, and there was not much difference between what the bottom line looked like doing a fraction of the revenue. So anyway, yeah, I completely hear that and appreciate it. And that's a lot around that. I think that's a lot of the conversation that's happening too, about balance and burnout and people leaving, because it's not just about hours, dollars per hour, because if you do that, like, the restaurant industry is pretty competitive. Like, there's you can do a lot better than working at a warehouse somewhere, or from some big box store. Like, you can do significantly better in a restaurant, but the stress and the hours and the the lack of balance, that's where you start to lose out in the competition. And I think a lot of people are focused on, how do we fix that next?
How do you fix
it? You hearing that? I think it's a slow burn. It's got it's a mindset change also, and people are doing it in different ways, and I think that's like, okay, well, what's important? Like, is it Is it health benefits? Is it 2 days off in a row or 3 days off in a row? Like work hard for three, and each place kind of, I think, has to find their own. And that's the beauty and challenge of independence, is like, it's not just the same that you would expect, everywhere. It's like, no, this place is into, fitness. So you get all kinds of fitness benefits, or this place is into, vacations, or this, whatever that, whatever the thing is. How do you, find the personality or the culture of the place that matches you, and that's the thing that, that jives. And it's everything from how you tip pool, and how how your labor model works, to how do we, say, there's restaurants in Denver that are doing like, specific days off, like requiring that you have, these days off, or you can only work these many shifts in a row.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of thing. We've got a spot out in Sun Valley, Idaho, and there's the guy at the sub shop there that's like, the iconic sub shop in Ketchum, and he stopped being open on weekends. And he's just like, he's just got it nailed. It's like a mad lunch rush, and he's open from, I don't know, 11 to 3 or whatever, 5 days a week. And that's his gig. And he's like, we haven't lost anything as far as dollars. And he's like, I'm home every night for dinner, and I'm off on the weekends. And he's like, people want, for sure we would do business on the weekends if we were open, but we'd be do business anytime if we were open, and you can't be open 24 hours.
You also have, more revenue, but then maybe not much of a difference in bottom line. Certainly a lot more stress, a lot more anxiety, a lot more burnout, a lot more wear.
Right. All of that. Yeah. So like, if you can have a weekend off and come back Monday refreshed and be like, okay, 11 to 3, let's do it again. That working towards sustainability, as opposed to, how long you can burn something until you burn it out, is I think that's what everyone is focusing on. And that's that conversation of labor that's kind of, and staffing that is, okay, so how do we get people back to the industry? How does it make sense? Yeah. Instead of like, this is a shitty job that pays a little bit more than another shitty job. It's like, how do you make this like, no, this is a good job that also pays more than a shitty job.
Yeah, I like the idea that every independent can come up with what works well for them as part of their culture. And a lot of it just goes back to what do you as owners like? There's things like, I would be really into fitness, right? Like, I like fitness a lot, so I would really latch onto that and promote that. And you would attract people that are also into that, so you kind of have this tribe of like-minded folks. It's good to hear that this conversation is prominent right now. I think the industry is better off for it, and ultimately the customers are too. I mean, your guy with the sub shop out there, you said it, it's supply demand, right? Okay, well, there's less supply now, so when it's there's more demand. And we got a chicken place in Charlotte here, Price's Chicken Coop, that to this day they only take cash. Like, think about that. They have a line out the door every day.
Yeah.
And they've been there forever, and nothing's changed. It looks the same as it did 30 years ago. But like, sometimes it's the same reason I think you said people respond to Jimmy's thing. There's sometimes just drawing a line in the sand, just taking a stand. People, it may turn some off, fine, but the people that like that are just gonna latch onto that because it.
Yeah, well, we in our upcoming issue, there's one of the stories is about how to say no in an industry that's about saying yes, right? Like, your job is like, what you grow up in the industry is, the customer is always right. We do everything we can to please you. As opposed to like, hey, this is who we are, and like, we're going to do that really well. And when we fall down on that, then call us out on it, but don't come in and try and like cater every experience to every person. It's just, if you're, there's a, hospitality, which is about generosity and welcoming. And, part of that is boundary setting, which is like, you're welcome in my house. Please don't piss in the corner.
Exactly what I was just thinking. That's right.
Yeah.
You have somebody in your house, it's like, yeah, you're here, but like if you're being an ass or you're cussing out my, no, like that's
Yeah.
not okay, you know. And
Yeah.
this is what we're providing here. This is this. It's yeah, dude, I'm so glad, man. It's a great time for this industry. And maybe this last year, I think this stuff was starting to happen, but change is so slow. This last year sort of forced everybody's hand. So maybe it'll help accelerate some of that stuff. But listen, man, I also committed to keep you like 15 minutes. I may have already gone over that. So I want to respect that.
I think we're good. I appreciate that. And always good chatting, and I appreciate the reach outs, and, you know, thanks for keeping an eye on things. It's good to, you know, be able to have the balcony view and talk to lots of people. So it's always good to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to my next issue, man. When I go out there and I get this thing, I love it, man. You guys do a great job with this.
Awesome. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you some more about it. We've got a whole web project that we're working on, and a partnership with the Restaurant Association, and some fun stuff that we want to, you know, keep doing. So,
you know, what we should do, man, if it works, is like maybe you and I can do this like once every month for 15 minutes. You can tell me what's going on out there and what's on your mind, and, you know, what you are seeing through the publication, and I can share some of the things we're hearing from other customers or whatever. That might be really cool if you want to do that.
Yeah, right on. I appreciate that. That'd be fun.
All right, man. Josh,
cool.
Good to see you, man. Really good
to see you. Good to see you.
We'll
all right. For sure. Take care.
See you.